Alright people, Catfish Dave here. It's August 10th, Friday night. Last three videos I done was catching stripers. Now I did get flathead, but bank fishing for blue cat in my reservoirs isn't the best. Now I can go to Kneel and Drive or something, get on some small fish, whatever, you know, 5 to 20 pounds. It's not that exciting, you know. I'd kind of rather put myself in a spot where I had a chance for a bigger fish, and I'd done that and I got stripers. Well, anyway, about once a year I like to come down here. It's about 80 miles from my house, and of course I got me a new haircut just for the trip, you know. But it's been raining all day. It's a good chance of rain tonight. If it rains me out, I'm gonna have to pack. But I'm hoping I can score some fish here on video. Just, you know, something different. Here's somewhere new. Watch Bar Dam, you know. I'm about, I guess you can see the stacks over there, 500 yards below the dam itself. I like to fish down here because everybody else fishes the lock. There's no current over there at the lock. So here, I'm not getting the current going downstream, but I'm getting a backflow that kind of circles me around, and it actually kind of pulls my baits out. So I'm getting a little more current down here. Plus I'm away from the crowd, which I like that too. So I didn't get no fresh skipjack, so I brought some frozen skipjack. I did stop by Topside Road, threw my net. And I got me a few jumbo gizzard shad and some smaller thread fins. Now I even caught a golden shiner, one golden shiner, and I'm liable to put him on my float and just leave him close to the bank here for a flathead. The other two, I'm going to cast one out medium with the little thread fin. I'm going to try to cast the frozen skipjack out a little farther, because the current's going to kind of pull my lines all in the same direction, so I'm not going to have them all far, or they're all going to be together. Basically that's about it. I'm going to have a hard time casting my surf rods here because I've got a steep rock bank behind me. I'm not going to get the greatest cast in the world, but anyway, it is what it is here. See if I can get my camera adjusted a little better than what this is. There we go. Well, let me get baited up here, and I barely got my light sitting on a rock. I hope if the slightest breeze comes by, it's going to blow it over. Of course, I see I didn't bring my power pack down here for my lights, so I'm going to have to go back up and I'm going to have to get it. And I guess I'll bring it, and I'll bring that live golden shiner down here to rig it up. But let me go ahead and get some cut baits out. I've got a lot of holes in the rocks, and I may try to lock my rods down in the holes. I'm using Gamakatsu big cats. I've got a 10-aught on one, which I'm going to use my gizzard shad pieces, and I've got a 12-aught on the other. I'm going to use them for my skipjack pieces, and I'm going to try to just find a hole in the rock to actually lock the rod down. That way if a fish hits, he's hooked, you know, if he's big enough to get the hook in his mouth. Let's get this party started, people. My blues will hit that frozen skipjack. It's not my favorite. The main reason I stopped for the fresh shad was in case I do get a flathead that's willing to hit something dead, because they prefer a much fresher bait than the blues do. I'm going to start out with just this little bitty thread fin hooked right through the eye. I ain't going to throw it real far because I'm going to throw my skipjack farther. It's been a year since I fished here. That felt like it hit about 20 foot of water there. Somebody left an old flip-flop over there, or maybe it just washed up here. But it made for a great cutting board on these rocks, so I didn't damage my knife. I'm gonna go get my battery pack for my lights. I'm gonna bring down that golden shiner and toss him out. You never know. Live golden shiner. I guess he's still alive. I just walked him 100 foot down the hill. We'll find out in a second. Well, all right, people. We're officially fishing. See what happens. I was hoping to see a skipjack or two pop. Run and get my Foley spoon real quick, get some fresh bait, but I ain't seeing a whole lot of action. I'd say they're breaking here first thing in the morning. And I won't be here then, so. The mosquitoes are out in full force. I'm gonna go ahead and plug my light in. It's about that time. About 15 more minutes, it's gonna be pitch black. Like I say, no moon. So, moon's been coming up in the daytime. Anyhow, it's gonna be tough climbing out of here tonight. Yeah, these mosquitoes is bad, boy. I'm hoping they stay over by the light and I'll be over here. They've already chewed me up. Ain't even got started yet. Golly. These mosquitoes are ridiculous, man. This is a whole lot worse than Knoxville. Good Lord. So far, the fish ain't biting, but the mosquitoes are. Big time. You think they'd be more attracted to that light than me, but I guess there ain't no blood in the light. Golly. The only bug out here is mosquitoes. There ain't a thing else flying, and I mean there's a bunch of them. Whew. Come on, catfish. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Seemed to have a little nibble there on the threadfin shad. I hope he didn't pull it off. Little old fish, little old bait, hooked through the eye. Something definitely played with it though. As soon as it got dark. Man, this is ridiculous. The cut bait the skipjack rod just got a little bitty bump too. Not the first twitch on the rod, and as soon as it gets dark, both rods have had a little bit of action. Ain't nothing big, but it's amazing how that happens. Summertime, man, them catfish love to hit at night. Morning time's a good time too. You can catch one anytime, but I prefer the nighttime or the morning time. Seems like that's when I catch the most in numbers. But I don't know nothing, I'm just a catfisherman. My luck, I've done been robbed by bait stealers and I'm sitting out there without bait. I'll give it a little more time. It ain't completely dark. I still see a little bit of light over towards the west. This way. I ain't gonna sit here all night though and not check it. You can bet that, because I've done seen movement on both rods. Well, I'll tell you one thing's for sure. It's definitely slower than the last time I came here. Last time I came here, when it got dark, clickers started going off. When it got dark, I seen just a little bit of movement on my rod tips. That was it. It done shut down. Of course, it's summer, you know. These kind of places here, you can not catch nothing, and then 3 o'clock in the morning catch a big fish. So we'll just see how long I'm willing to sit on these rocks getting chewed up by mosquitoes. Golly. Man, this is ridiculous. I might go down to the Everglades and fish just so I can get somewhere where there's less mosquitoes than what there is here. This is ridiculous. I figured after the initial onslaught right at dark, you know, after about 300,000 bites, they would start slacking off. They just don't quit. They don't leave. This has been going on, and it ain't slacking up. I can tell you one thing. These fish here got lockjaw. You ain't gonna tell me there ain't no fish here. You know what I mean? They just got lockjaw. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Well, I'm obviously not gonna catch numbers of fish. I can see that now. There is no hot bite going on. I can tell you that. So maybe I'll get lucky and get one big fish. Well, while the fish ain't biting, I'm gonna eat me a pack of jalapeno cheddar Munchies crackers. Skipjack ain't getting nothing. The little threadfin shad ain't getting nothing. My live golden shiner ain't getting nothing. Ain't nothing getting nothing. Ah, my skipjack just got a little bite. That's 3 little bitty bites I've had. I'm gonna get my cord. Yeah. Well, I'm getting a bite. Something's on there. Something's on there. That acts like a flathead. Acts like a flathead. That's why I put that old that thread fin on, in case the blue cat weren't doing nothing. And that acts like a flathead, just barely going off with it. He's not a bad fish. He's not a giant. He's in my other line. Uh-oh, he's starting to pull a little bit now. He's not a bad fish. Now he's starting to fight a little bit. He's not a bad fish. I'm in a bad place to land him here. He ain't wanting to come up. Woo! There goes a little drag. This ain't a bad fish here. That might be a blue cat. Just an old... That is a blue cat. Boy, he sure took off slow. He's not a bad one either. Of course, my net's all jacked up. Woo! Woo! Yeah, he ain't a bad fish at all. Woo! This is a picture fish right here. He got a big wide head on him. Big old wide head. Man, he took off just like a flathead. Just like a flathead. Barely cruising on that thread fin. I just reeled on down. I'm gonna lay him gently in these rocks and I'm gonna get me a camera out. That's a heavy fish. It's not real long, but he's heavy, man. I bet he's close to 40 pounds or more. All right, people. I got me a quick pick. I ain't gonna bother going up to the truck getting the scale. I'm gonna call him a 40. He's real wide across the back, across the head. You can see how wide he is across the head. So, I'm about kill myself over here. Woo! There he is. Let's get him in the water. Man, this is dangerous. Woo! No reviving him, he's ready to go. Woo! On little threadfin shad, man. It was fresh though. Stopped by through my net. I just knew that was a flathead. Usually a blue cat takes off and hits it hard, you know. That thing was just barely easing, just like many flathead I've caught. And so I just reached down. I knew he wasn't really putting enough pressure to set the hook. So while it was still in the rock, I went ahead and cranked it down, get some tension in the line, get the hook set. And at first I didn't think he was that much till he got closer, and then that's when he realized he was hooked. So, but he was heavy once I got him close. Well, I tell you what, last few times out I went and I set up for a good spot for a blue, ended up getting stripers, you know. And I figured, well, I need to change my game up, and I did. I drove 80 miles tonight, took a little road trip. I sat out here a good 2.5 hours with basically nothing but a couple bites, you know. So I ain't expecting no real monsters till fall, but I'm pretty happy with that fish, you know. So he swam off good. I guess I'm gonna pack up on out of here. That fish right there made the trip to me, so made a video. It was a video, now we got a fishing video. Anyway, this is Catfish Dave coming to you from Watts Bar Dam, signing out.